Mr. HD, Cam, what do you think about the Houston offensive lineman, Cameron Johnson, hitting the portal?
Cameron, another great name. You know what I mean? Like, hey, horse and carriage, let's get it. But yeah, man, haven't really looked too much into him, but let's do that now. Cameron Johnson. Ooh, and I got to put football, don't I? I sure do. Houston. Let's see. Up error 404, so he's not on the roster anymore. So they have already removed, his page. Let's see, 6'4", 291 on his 247. He's a grad transfer. He had played offensive line. He started at left tackle for a state runner-up in high school. I mean, I'm with it. Like, if he fits, like, I'm not going to turn down, like, good, able-bodied offensive linemen. I mean, at a certain point, you are going to have to ride with who you got, but I don't think that this is the point. He was a first-team all-conference left guard last year. Oh, sign me up then. Let's go. Allowed only 1 sack and 586 pass snaps, according to Pro Football Focus. And I was reading that on the Houston Chronicle website before it's recycled
the same
and
one.
put the paywall up. But
yeah,
even with those two quick things that we all learned together, yeah, that'll work. A first team offensive lineman from a decent conference, obviously not Power 5 conference, but 1 sack or hurry and 586 pass blocking snaps. Yeah, that'll work. And again, you're talking about coming from Houston, so the offensive coordinator, from his time there just recently. So, yeah, you're talking about, call him. Make it like Erykah Badu's Tyrone and call him. Like, yeah, absolutely. Call him, evaluate if he wants to play in the same thing. Now, the thing about it is you're going to get to the point, even with him, where you have more bodies than you have snaps. Right? And I think that that's a good thing to have to a point on the offensive line. But if he's a grad transfer, he's going to want to come somewhere and play. Right? Because he's trying to get to the league. I don't know that possibility of like a real play, like another 600 snaps. Because he was, that's 1 play a game over 14 games. 2 plays a game over 7 if they would have, converted a couple third downs. So he's a snap away, just really close to 600 offensive snaps, right? You're going to find 600 snaps or something that he can live with here in Miami on offensive line when you got Samson Okunlola early enrolled, when you have, Francis Mauigoa early enrolled, we have Jaden Rivers, the best offensive lineman on the team, still back here. You got Anez Cooper. You have, I'm even, forgetting other names, right? But I don't know that he comes in on the interior of the line. I mean, you got Matt Lee from UCF. That's your starting center. First team All-American or first team All-Conference in the same conference as Houston, right? You got Rivers and Cooper. Mauigoa might move inside. Who knows, right? And those 3 guys could be for the 2 interior spots. I'm probably even like overlooking Sagapolu and a couple other dudes, right? And there is the chance, because Miami does, or Cristobal and Mirabal cross-train offensive linemen, as in pretty much everybody practices everywhere, right? Because you never know where you're going to have to go. That's why it was like a big thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, on the first day of practice, there's a surprise starter at left tackle because Zion Nelson's not in. Jalen Rivers working at left tackle, because you cross-train everywhere, and that's a thing that's been done. But is that guy going to come in? And maybe he does. Where he comes in, he snatches a spot and he gets his however many snaps to be happy? Or does he get to work with, a coach that he's known already, in Shannon Dawson, gets to get coached up by a very good offensive line coach in Mirabal and Cristobal, or very good offensive line coaches, and then sacrifice some of his current year snaps for the potential to move forward in towards the league next year. I can't speak to that. I don't know if that's the thing that he would want to do, but I know I do agree with the chat where they're saying, hey, the first thing we need to do is call him, because we're still in the rebuilding phase of that offensive line, bringing as many dudes as possible who can play and let it work itself out. And if he decides, to go somewhere else where the path to the field might seem a little easier or more sure, hey, obviously as a grad transfer, you're trying to get paid. Like, this is your money year, right? So, I mean, not in the NIL way. I mean, as in towards your professional career. But yeah, call him, bring him down. If he wants to join the team and it works out, great. If not, good luck, Godspeed.
So unless I'm missing something, the key term here is that he has announced that he will enter the transfer portal, because no one can enter the transfer portal until, I believe the date is May 1st.
Correct. Yeah. So he's like already put it out there. Hey, when the portal opens the next window, I'm in there. Holla at me. So, and I went on the first page where I said, 404 not found, was the University of Houston roster page for Mr. Johnson, and it's already been taken down. So yeah.
He has figured out a very convenient way to skip spring practice. Because he's thinking of spring practice.
Hey, or, he was meeting with the coaches and everything, got this new offensive coordinator. The guy that I was playing for is not here. The way that we're going to go, whatever, it doesn't look like I want to be a part of that. Who knows? But like other people have done that. Like Lawrence Cager did that when he was at Miami. He was like, "Yo, I'm going to transfer, but like not now. When I graduate." Back when you had to have the grad transfer to get free movement. So he's like, "Hey, I'm letting y'all know in January, February, like I will be transferring." To set himself up to, have that potential move in the future. Yeah.
Did he go to spring practice?
I do not believe so.
Okay. We, of course, had many more cases of this last year, this past bowl season, than we did the previous year, where there was a light on Emory Jones, because he was the one guy that I knew of who was playing for a team in Florida against UCF in the bowl game. And he had already stated and already entered the transfer portal. So he was in the transfer portal, but they needed a quarterback with reps and with experience to play in a bowl game. But this past offseason, or this past bowl season, that there were quite a few guys that did that still played for their existing team, even though they entered the transfer portal.
Hey man, do the job you have while you have it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm looking for a new one, but like I'm work this job right here to the best and fullest of my abilities until I leave. Because
it's also interesting from a leverage standpoint, because obviously if you're the coaching staff and you don't need that guy, he's not a guy of value, then you're like, yeah, we'll put you on the bench, and if 3 guys get hurt, you'll be on the field. But otherwise, even though you've kind of dissed us to a certain extent, depending on the relationship, hey, if we want to win this bowl game, and if you can bring, the goods, then we'll play you still.
Well, I mean, it's just every situation is different. It's not always contentious. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like I had to do a thing, or whatever, or like you're looking out professionally. I was, always thinking about, back into my teaching career. But I remember we had a performance, and a student came up to me and was like, "Yo, like my parents want to take me out of here to a private school, like at the end of the day." And I'm like, you showed up in your uniform. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to shuttle you off of this organization. You've always done the work. You've been here. If you desire to perform with us one last time, great. And it was just kind of it was a situation of circumstance in that way. Now I understand that it's very different with players, where like they hold their own agency, where they're making the active choice, not like my mama told me I got to go, which is what that was. So it's not directly analogous, but like these things have happened. You know what I mean? And yeah, but it's been But then, the coaching staff on the other side has to do kind of a cost benefit analysis as well, because like that, those are those guys' careers. You know what I mean? And like, if they have performance benchmarks, which they do, and they have evaluative benchmarks, which they do, they can't just say, okay, bye, and then punt on whatever game, or, what if they're 175 yards away from a passing bonus goal for the year? What if they're, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things they got to consider too. It's like, yeah, this kid is leaving, and that is not great for the future, but for right now, so that I keep this job and that $250,000 bonus that can go towards whatever, I'm gonna find a way to get over that so that we can make that happen today, right now.